This is why people loved Classic WoW. Or what? This is why people love Classic WoW so much by Nixxiom. I thought I was subscribed to Nixxiom. Guess I wasn't.
Blizzard
Anyway,
has released the
I also forgot to subscribe to Vaulty. I'll
fresh
do that
realms,
after.
and you
Make
better
sure I
believe
subscribe to
that
him.
I have been playing a lot. But this recent release has left many people confused, just as confused as they were back in 2019. People are sitting there wondering, why the heck do people like this grindy version of the game so damn much? Well, in this video, I'm hoping to answer that question. The question of why do people love Classic WoW so damn much?
Because it's better. It's, it feels more worthwhile to play. It's better. It's a lot more enjoyable of an experience despite the grind. Every single part of it is more thought out. Every single part of it is more connected. And the whole game is more social and feels better once you get to max level and you get good gear. Even though you're standing in Stormwind on top of a fucking fountain. It just feels better. It's as simple as that.
Now, keep in mind, everybody's answer to that question, if you're a Classic WoW fan, is going to be a little different, but these are some of my reasons and reasons that I think that the community tends to put forward the most. So let's just geek out about some Classic WoW, shall we? But first, I probably should put my hair up. Before we get too deep into the video, though, I have to thank Zygor, this channel's sponsor.
He went from, like, Jesus to Viking really quick. Like, I know it was a jump cut, alright, chill. But, like, that was a drastic change.
Guys,
Holy.
You've been hearing me rant about them for over a year now. It is World of Warcraft's best add-on, linked down below in the description. Helps you with leveling, helps you make gold, helps you get achievements, helps you get mounts, pets, whatever you want.
What is
Zygor,
this?
it's World of Warcraft's ultimate add-on. All right, everyone knows it. Check them out, link down below in the description. Number one, an MMORPG. One of the things that sets Classic WoW apart as a game is that it's an MMORPG. Now, what the heck does that mean? Well, first of all, it's a role-playing game, meaning that the roleplay and the immersion are forefront when it comes to the game. Classes are all very unique and distinct from one another.
Yeah.
Class quests are there to teach you more about your character's lore and background. There's even unique mechanics that make certain classes really stand out from others. Warlocks, for example.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things, too, is the fact that the classes stand out so much. Like, if you're playing a rogue, we know how you are. If you're playing a mage, we know, especially if you main these people, if you're always playing rogue, if you're always playing mage, if you're always playing hunter, whatever. If these are your mains, alright, we know how you are, okay? If you're a hunter, we can't take you into the dungeons. If you're a mage, we also a lot of the time can't take you into the dungeons. If you're a warrior, then you have to be in the dungeons, and you can't even say no, because it's just how it is. If you're a paladin, I better not see any Crusader Strike, Consecrate, anything else that isn't called heal, or has heal in the name. And yeah, if you're a druid, you can pretty much do all three of them, so yeah.
Example, can collect soul shards from enemies that they then use to sacrifice in order to summon demons. Hunters have to raise their pets, keeping them happy with food. Warriors constantly get their asses kicked until they begin to rock face around level 30 or so. The game is meant to be a role-playing game, a game where you create a character, you fall into this world. It's full of lore, full of quests, full of opportunities to customize your character the way you want them to be customized.
Although when you get like Whirlwind, you're fucking cooking.
But it's also an MMO. What this means is that Classic WoW is not a single player game, and it is not designed around the single player experience. Now, to be fair, you can play Classic WoW single player, you know, questing through the world and so on and so forth, but the game will very quickly and very subtly force you into...
There's many people who play with that, or play like that. I personally don't know a lot of people, just because I personally don't know a lot of people that even fucking play Classic WoW in the first place, or WoW in general. However, I know there's a lot of people who don't even who don't ever do dungeons, who don't ever do a lot of the stuff. They only do professions, or they'll only do the quests, the world quests, all kinds of different stuff like that. They'll never touch certain aspects of the game, is basically what I'm saying, and they love the game, and it's awesome. especially in retail too. Like you could do class or the pet battles. You could actually level through professions, all kinds of different stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's one of the best ways that WoW has stayed so relevant because realistically, it's a fucking easy game if you're playing classic, but it's also very in depth if you want to get in depth.
Groups with other groups of people. You'll be questing and suddenly you have a group quest that you have to complete. Suddenly you'll have a quest that tells you to go into a dungeon, and at endgame, if you want to kill Ragnaros, for example, or fight an Nixxiom, you're going to have to find a guild, you're going to have to group up with 40 people, and you're going to have to go take on those bosses. It's a game that actively rewards you for being social. It rewards you for engaging in the multiplayer element, and that's something that's...
Even a lot of people, you know, they'll do Hogger. Earlier today, I was doing Belly Grub, and there was like two or three people hanging around there. I just invited them all. I was going through Hardcore, even though Hardcore is classic, but it's a little bit different. Sometimes people are they're iffy. Let's be real. But yeah, I invited a bunch of people to a group, and we all killed the one guy, and we all left. We all opened the chest, and we dipped out. We were good. That was earlier on stream. Like, classic WoW compared to retail WoW is like it's like the first day of school compared to the last day of school. So classic WoW is like the first day of school. You're super excited to be there. You're super excited to meet new people, talk to new people. Like, I guess not first day of school, but like first day of the year for, say you're already in the school. But yeah, so you know, first day of the year, you're happy to be there. You're meeting new friends. You're talking to people. You're catching up. Like, you know, what happened over the summer, this, that. You're chatting it up. You're loving it. It's a great time. You're all laughing. You know, it's just a chill place. There's not a lot of work to do, not serious work to do, because the teachers, they just give you fucking bullshit. It's like, whatever, just fucking go kill 10 spiders. You're like, all right, whatever. And then retail is the last day. It's like, all right, I just want to get out of here. I want to get to the summer. Like, when's school over? When is the bell going? Don't give me any work. I don't want to fucking do anything. Just get me in, get me out. Let's go. Like, you get in the dungeon, you get out, you fucking do your thing, you get out, you do your thing. It's so, like, I don't know. It's just not, I don't know the correct terminology to use right now, but it's just not good. It doesn't feel good.
I think kind of lost in modern MMOs nowadays.
Yeah,
modern MMOs
sure.
seem to have this approach of, well, let's give people the multiplayer content, but let's also give players the single player content or the single player path as well. And although that sounds good on paper, an MMORPG is a multiplayer game that's meant to be approached from a multiplayer standpoint. And so we'll talk more about this in a second, the community of Classic WoW, but we'll just leave it there for right now. The point is, unless you're playing Classic WoW Big Sweaty, the game really does feel like just an online D&D session with your friends, just making your character, exploring who they are, and just exploring this big adventure that's in front of you. And that's pretty cool. Number 2. Impactful delayed rewards. Another thing that people really love about Classic WoW is how rewarding the game feels even at early levels. Every completed quest moves you closer to leveling up, which means you get to go on an adventure back to your class trainer to unlock more delicious new spells. And after a while, every ding is rewarded with a new talent point, class quests, or look forward to every 10 levels for certain classes, and so on. Even the gear. The point is that leveling up in the game feels very rewarding. But even from a gear standpoint, Classic WoW delivers. Every time you get a new piece of gear, it really feels like something that you can feel. And it really helps that
when I was running hardcore and I was my warrior, I was level 6 or level 7. I'm pretty sure I was level 6. I got a fucking green sword. I immediately equipped that shit. I had no green items. No green items. I'm level 6. 6 or 7, one of the two. Green sword? At that level, fuck yeah, I'm taking it. Absolutely, I'm taking it. That is the biggest fucking dick thing that I could ever get at that level. That is insane. That's like gold. Literal gold in real life. A bar of it. Like, it's insane.
In Classic WoW, the gear that you get is fewer and further between. Even before
Yeah.
level 10, getting a new piece of gray gear with more armor attached to it feels like this huge upgrade. And your first green, dude, it's incredible. Your first blue, your first epic, come on, man. And these things are especially cool if you crafted your first greens or whatever for yourself through professions. Dungeons take longer to do, so getting a blue piece of gear feels really special, especially since not everybody is brave enough to group up and descend into the depths of Azeroth's more challenging content. Epics are limited to only the highest levels of players.
So basically what Nixxiom was saying in nicer words is, some people are a bunch of fucking pussies.
With only a very few rare ones hidden in the world here and there to tease lower level players. The point is, when it comes to Classic WoW, everything feels great to be involved in because everything rewards your character in a very meaningful and impactful way. Doing your professions will award you with huge gear upgrades at times, or potions that you can use in the open world.
Or swords, or there's so much stuff
that you wouldn't normally be able to find.
Bags.
Grinding for more money means you can buy some upgrades in the auction house. Simple questing can award you with group gameplay, as well as sweet level ups that reward you with abilities, new talent points. Classic WoW is a game that's always rewarding you for playing it, but it's not a game that's constantly rewarding you, like a pair of keys that are jangling in front of your face. The rewards are delayed. The satisfaction of getting those rewards is increased, and it's something that players really appreciate about the game. It's one reason why, for example,
it's like a jawbreaker. Classic WoW is like a jawbreaker, where it's like you need to work in order to get to the really, really, really good part. At least for me, like, the really good part was always obviously the center, and like really, really close to the center, because that's where all the fucking the sugar rings are and all that stuff. But when you're first getting into a jawbreaker, it's really tough. It's hard. It's slow. It's not as great. Sometimes it doesn't feel great. Like, taste great. Whatever. But when you really get down in there and deep in there, it's the fucking best thing ever. And it is always kind of slightly rewarding you, because it does always kind of slightly taste good, and you get a new color the more you lick it, so it's like, oh, it's blue, now it's green, now it's, and you like see some kind of progression there, and it always slightly rewards you during the actual path in order to get to the actual good, like the pot of gold, the good stuff right in the middle. And then retail, it's like, it's a piece of fucking gum. Like, you chew it for 30 seconds and you're done. It's like, I'm done with this shit. Depending on the flavor, depending on what you're doing, you might get 3 minutes. But other than that, it's not good.
Example, Classic WoW Hardcore was so popular. I mean, you gotta think, like, it was this very big successful movement in the Classic WoW community. Players making character after character, playing as far as they can go, dying, starting again, doing it over and over, doing these starting zones repeatedly, time and time again, and people weren't getting bored of it. And I think that shows just how rewarding the Classic WoW adventure is, even at early levels. It's incredibly good game design. Number 3, a simpler world. It's something that everybody hates when it comes to modern MMOs, including modern World of Warcraft. This idea
that everything needs to be happening, and there's always quests everywhere, there's always like a collection, there's always something to do, like, that's what I think he's gonna say. I guarantee it, because that's what a lot of people are annoyed about. They're always annoyed about like collections. Like, I always hear, Ubisoft or one of these games release, or one of these studios release a game, and it's like, oh yeah, let's do all the towers, let's collect all the feathers, let's do yada yada yada, whatever. And it's always just internet banter that the game's trash and annoying.
That you are the chosen one. You are the special champion of Azeroth. You are the safe.
Okay, that was kind of like a twist, like right on the edge. It was like, it's a simpler world. You're not a hero. It's like, you're talking about more of the story and like how they frame you and everything, and then it was just a little confusing in my brain. But that is true too. That is absolutely true too.
Savior that was promised to the world People absolutely hate that garbage. In classic WoW, in contrast, you are just this
like
no-name jack-off adventurer. And if you do have a name, it is a name that was given to you by the community for your accomplishments, not by Blizzard or the quests or whatever. You see,
and another thing too is like, people, when they're going through, like, I guess a lot of people now that, like, now that everybody's like fucking super speedy, nobody really reads the text. But there's some text quest, especially because I have the add-on that plays it to you with the voiceovers. There's some people that just like actually fucking berate you and call you a slave. If you're doing the Defias quest where you're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, they literally like they basically call you a little bitch. They're like, oh, thanks for being this dude's little bitch. Now go and take him this letter again, you little bitch. Like, like some people actively fucking hate you in Classic WoW. Like, people don't want to feel like the adventurer just because they killed a dragon. Or the champion just because they killed the dragon. They want to feel like the champion because they actually actively did something that's way harder than a lot of people would have done.
This no-name jack-off adventurer. And if you do have a name, it is a name that was given to you by the community for your accomplishments, not by Blizzard or the quests or whatever. You see, Classic has this game design of you just being this total nobody, just making your way through the world, seeing what sort of trouble that you can get into. You're getting involved in all these adventures that the world has to offer. You're not beginning as a hero. You are not some soldier of the Alliance. You are not some warrior of the Horde. You are just some goof who found a crappy sword or a wizard staff, and you are off to try to see who you can become based on your own efforts. And even that adds to that rewarding sense that Classic WoW has. Because if you're a mage, for example, and
there's another video about that where I forget his exact name right now, but Asmon was watching it not too long ago. I don't think it was, but it was a new guy. He was coming into WoW. He's a RuneScape 3 player. And he's like, oh, like, you know, I never played this game. I want to say his name was Josh. I feel like that's wrong. Anyways, he comes into WoW, he's playing WoW, he's like, wow, Classic is, you know, it's great, and, you know, it feels really rewarding. And then you go into retail, and by the time you get to level 10, you're the champion of Azeroth. Why am I the champion of Azeroth at level 10? What the fuck? Makes no sense.
Go into SFK.
He's like, I went to 60 in Classic and was never called champion once. I was maybe called, you know, like a great adventurer for killing some really high-end boss, but I was never called champion or like any of this crazy shit. Level 10, you're champion in retail. Like, I don't know.
You get the robes of Arugal or something, and you're hanging out with other mages around your level who don't have the robes of Arugal. It makes you feel special, like, because you have something that they don't.
You also, like, the gear and the way you look with the gear at those levels. So if you're 2 level 20 mages, let's say, and you're a mage who's run Deadmines relentlessly, and you have every single piece of mage gear from Deadmines, you look fucking built compared to somebody who's just in the People's Militia gear from the quest lines. You look vastly different. And if you have the Staff of Westfall from the dungeon quest, you're like, holy shit. Like, people are like, oh my god, this dude's like, I'm not even gonna fuck with this dude. Let him Blizzard grind all my mobs. I don't care. At least just let me join your group so I can get something. People are like, oh my god, he's like, you just slap your dick on the table. They're like, oh my god. It's insane.
Who went on an adventure that they have not had yet and gotten a reward that they have not gotten to taste. And that's
Yeah.
really cool. There is no achievement book necessary in the game because your character immediately tells the story to everybody
Yep,
around you
that's
of
true.
who you are. Are you a casual questing adventurer, a brave dungeoneer, an epic raider, a wealthy auction house worker, you know, whatever.
What's the Moonkin doing?
Simplicity of starting everybody as a blank canvas even adds to the roleplay or immersion element of the game that we were
What's he got on
discussing
his head, an
earlier.
elastic
Because
band?
starting as that level 1 human warrior begs the question of, who are you gonna be? Are you going to be this epic tank who's going to stare down Ragnaros? A DPS who's going to be busting out big numbers for your group
Probably a
as you
DPS.
descend deep into Encourage? Or are you going to seek out the challenge of being the Grand Marshal of the Alliance? It's a feeling that Classic WoW captures with every
we'll
new
see.
character made, and it's probably one reason why so many people
Is that
enjoy
his...
leveling.
That's his chat. His chat looks like WoW text. I love that.
Up in Classic WoW so damn much. It is a simpler
Fuck, my
world
eyeballs
ready
getting
for
itchy.
you to write
I don't
your
know why.
story within it. It is not a story that is being handed to you or a story that you are being forced to play through. You are writing the story. It's your adventure,
Excuse me.
your experience, your
Yawn.
world to play in. And I think that's something
Not your
truly
video,
special
Nixxiom.
that
I'm
no
just-
other MMO
3
has
a.m.
captured as well as Classic WoW has. And number 4, community. So I've talked a lot about
Yeah,
the
this is
game's
another thing I was saying
design and
too.
like that immersive quality of Classic WoW's adventure, but
Mm-hmm.
MMOs live and die on the anvil of their community, for better or for worse. And that's what I want to talk about right
A
now.
lot of the
So going
time
back
it's for
to what I
worse.
was talking about in the first point, you know, Classic WoW is an MMORPG. One of the best parts about Classic WoW is that it is a multiplayer game. It's an entire world of people creating stories every day for better or for worse. Stories of people helping each other out through hard times, or tales of streamers abusing their audiences and crashing servers. Regardless, the Classic community has
Asman.
always felt a lot tighter than other MMOs, it seems. All that need for grouping up, all those moments where you want to craft something, but you just need that reagent from another profession that you don't have, and getting a quest that you have to ask for help for.
There's actually a quest in Hillsbrad Foothills where you need to be you need to have tailoring. I think like 150 tailoring or something. Pretty sure it's tailoring. It might be leatherworking. One of those two, and you need to make like a cloak or something. I'm pretty sure it's tailoring. Regardless, you need to make a cloak for a quest. This is the only way you can make the cloak is if you have the correct profession. And if you don't have the correct profession, well then you're fucked. You better have a guild, or you better be more than comfortable deleting your profession skill and going to get a new one. That's how it is. Sucks to suck.
A big confusing world if you're a new player, which leads to you constantly asking in general chat, where the heck is this thing that you're looking for, or where should you go? Going into town and asking the druid to buff you, then the mage, then the priest. All of these subtle ways
Don't
to
be
get
that
players
guy.
to socialize or
that
just
guy.
interact with each other in very small little ways, like just thanking somebody for a, power word fortitude buff or something. Like, this is something that makes the Classic WoW community
bow most
so
of the time.
special. To this day, I still remember the friends I made back in Classic all those years ago, back in 2005 when I first started playing the game. Pyro Mike, Swift Angel, Granak One Eye, people that I'm never gonna see again. Like, I haven't spoken to these people in years. Like, I don't even know how long it's been. But I'll always remember these people because they were the ones that I quested with and went on adventures with. They're just a part of my childhood, and I wouldn't have met these people if Classic WoW wasn't a game with such a community emphasis behind it. Honestly, the community of Classic WoW is incredible, and I think it's the community spirit of Classic which led to us getting Classic re-released back in 2019 in the first place. If it wasn't for this deep love that the Classic WoW community has for each other and for the game, I don't think we would have seen a 2019 re-release, or even these fresh servers that have recently come out. I don't think we would have seen that at all. So in conclusion, the community element of the game is one of the things
Probably
that just
not,
makes it
no, because Blizzard
so
just
special.
wants money.
So why do people love Classic WoW so much? Well, despite it being a dated game, it is a game that really captures the essence of what an MMORPG is supposed to be. It's a game that has impactful, delayed rewards. Not a game that treats you like some child that's always dangling pixels in front of you and always constantly rewarding you with these flashing things like a stupid casino game. No, if you got a new sword, you earned that sword. New robe, you earned that. And it feels great. The world is simpler. You're just an adventurer. You're writing your own story. You're not being told the story. You're not following some linear path. You know, you are making the adventure. And finally, you're not doing that adventure alone. You're a part of a large, living, breathing community that is doing wonderful things together or ripping each other's throats out of their necks. It's these reasons and a whole lot more that Classic WoW is such a beloved game. If you are somebody playing on the Classic Fresh Realms right now, I hope that you're having a great time.
For the rarest mounts in the game, I got a hold of a data.
I want to watch this one too. Maybe I'll save some of these for tomorrow though. I want to watch